Hello folks, and welcome back to my channel, The Scottish Model Railway Guy. Glad to have you back. If you've never been here before, then I'm glad you found me. So, for those that do visit often, it's not a part of the layout you see very often. Now, what I'm going to do is, in a sort of mini series like I've done before for other things, I'm going to make a significant change to the layout. Now, everything you've seen off to the left hand side is everything that's been up until now, and what you're going to see going down the right hand side, down this track at the back, it's going to go in a big loop. Now it goes down there for about 6, 7, 8 feet, and then it's going to come back up and into here, which completes the loop. So I'm going to show you in this first episode of it how to do that, and it's going to incorporate a whole bunch of things like scenics. It's going to incorporate track laying, and it's going to incorporate the laying of the cork in the background, roughing it up a bit and segregating it a bit, and hopefully once we're done the whole scene is going to look believable, which is the whole point. So if you hang on, the first thing we're going to deal with, we're going to nip to hyperlapse, and we're going to take down that fence and re-erect another one and start from there. So hang on folks, here we go. So there we have the fence. Now before I move on to the track, I have to be very careful because it's still drying. Now this is a Hornby double straight track. I believe it's an R601 Hornby double straight track, which is what I've been using all the way through, and I find it really smooth running, so I'm quite happy with that. I'm going to leave this wee skip that I got at the Paisley Model Railway Show in this wee buffer for a wee while, and what I'm going to do is measure out the cork. So the cork I need is probably going to be about that long. I'm literally going to snip it into a piece. Now what I'm doing is I'm deliberately making it slightly longer than I need, and there is a reason for that. As always, you can see that I transit to a lower piece of wood here. Well, you can't actually, but it's off to the right, so I'm making it so it can overhang, and then in another video I'll show you how to cope with that. So you can see that straight doesn't want to really, that cork doesn't really want to sit properly, so I'm just going to gently stick that in there to get it square, and then I know where it needs to go. And if you hang on, I'm also going to pin this and ballast it. So it's going to be a tutorial about a bunch of things, and at the same time I need to keep straightening this because it hasn't fully dried, and I'm trying to shift it all on. So yeah, that is how I'm going to put that in. Now I've got the choice. I can glue the cork down, or I can just pin it. I think today I'm just going to pin it. So these are Hornby track pins, tiny wee nails, and I've shown you in another video, there's tiny wee holes in the tracks through there, and here, and there are more. And then all you do is you get a wee hammer and you chap it in. Like I said in some of the other videos, it can be a messy business. Actually, let's not chap it in. I'll tell you why. Because I haven't actually put in another track joining piece. and I forgot about that for some reason. I must have pulled it for the end of this one, and I didn't put in a wee track joining piece, so I'm going to stick that in there now. Otherwise we've got no electrical connection. So going back in from the top, get that into both of those at the same time, which is always half. Get your cork in there, and then I'll show you me pinning one down. I'm also trying to make sure it's in the middle of the cork so we get a good effect. Now, yes, so like I said, there's two ways to do this. You can either hammer it in with a hammer and risk damaging your track, or you can get a pin punch. Difficult to show you where the camera is, and use a pin punch, and I find that causes less vibration and less potential for damage because you're in full control, and that is a wee trick from, I suppose, my trade background. So I'm just going to stick that in there and repeat the process, and then this piece of track's down. And it's not going anywhere now. Now that's the thing, some people will put it in with glue. I tend to just pin them and then it holds the cork in place. So yeah, there goes my fence. Brilliant. And that is the risk about trying to do too much at the one time. But the one thing I can tell you is it will stick down properly given enough time. It just so happens I've been rushing it a wee bit. I should probably have used super glue rather than the slower drying glue, but what I'm going to do is temporarily stick something under there, wedge shaped, to just hold that up in position now, and the glue will take, and we should have no more worries when that goes. So yeah, on to the next stage. I think we've got a bit of track in there. Is it smooth? This is just a dummy coach. Hard to tell. I need to remove this ballast because previously there was a buffer sitting on there, so I didn't really care when I was doing it. How do we remove ballast? No idea, but I'll figure it out right this second and we can see. So yeah, pair of tweezers and just work it out of there until it goes smoothly over it. So you can hear a little, oh god, how many times am I going to do this? We can hear a little click clack. Excuse me folks, I'm normally very polished, but I think I need to get some super glue down there rather than the slow drying glue, because I'd normally leave this overnight to dry, but I haven't this time because I want to be doing stuff. Yeah, and there's a little click clack which indicates that it's not quite perfect there. However, a wee click clack doesn't do MD any harm. The real trick will be, does a train, that's another one, does a train actually run over it and under full electric power? And that is going to be the real trial, and that's where I'm going to go to next just to prove it. So hang on, I'm going to tidy up here a bit, and like I say folks, excuse me for the undue mess on this occasion. Hang on. Now, here we go. I've got the track lined up. I'm going to run it over it really slowly and then run it back just to see if it's smooth. On these occasions you're best going as slow as possible so you can understand if your transitions are good and if there's any hang up between track. And I don't think there is. I think it's going okay. Now I hope you can kind of get the effect of where I'm going here, because I want to have a zone that's industrial. Now I'm not really sure what I'm going to do right here to segregate it. I might put in some trees or something actually, or bushings, so that it's the industrial zone and the crane operations separate from what is effectively going to be trucks coming in and out of there. In theory, goods trucks dropping stuff off, getting transferred, all that sort of good stuff. So yeah, the next part I'm going to go to while I'm here, I'm going to ballast this with Gauge Master ballast, and I've got plenty of it there, and it shouldn't take me too long to do this very small section of track. It'll be a good demonstration how to do that and to bring it all together. Now the timings on this video are pretty accurate for me to do all of this, so it sort of demonstrates how quickly you can shift on zones if you put your mind to it. But hang on just now, while we're here, we're fairly far into the video. If you've never been here before and you're still watching this, maybe it's time you should subscribe, because there's loads of videos like this. If you are a subscriber, welcome back. It'd be great to hear your comments again. I enjoy the information I get for you folks, and I enjoy the feedback that I get for you folks as well, regarding what goes well and what doesn't. So yeah, here we go anyway. I'm going to do some track ballasting just along this one length of track as a demonstration for those that haven't seen it before, and to sort of shift this industrial zone on in this part 1 of the series. So hang on. So ballasting isn't anything very new. There are some videos on my channel with it, which you can have a look at your leisure for now. What we're going to do is just quickly show you how the ballast's done, and then I'm going to jump to hyperlapse because you've seen it before, if you've been here before, and it shouldn't be too hard. Now this is going to be a bit controversial, probably, to some of the more traditionalists, but you can please some people some of the time, but you can't please all of the people all of the time. So a quick way to get it done and to get it all shifting, I've found, and to give you a solid base, is to just get loads of ballast in there. Now I know I need to fill that whole zone, and I'm going to do that as quickly as I can. So the principle remains the same. As I said before, all you need to do is fill in the gaps. Now it's an industrial zone. I don't particularly want it to be neat and tidy or perfect. What I want it to be is believable, as much as I can make it. So I'm not going to be overly kind when I'm putting it all down. I'm just going to get it roughly where I want it. Where do I want the transition? Probably here. I'm going to make a wee fencing piece, make a bit for people to cross. The long and short is, I just want it to be believable, a bit dirty, and what I suppose you would presume is nothing special, because are goods yards anything special? Probably not. However, what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump to hyperlapse, and hopefully you can see how quickly I can transform this area and get the ballast down all the way down this section too. So here we go to hyperlapse. Hang on. And here is a wee look at how it has turned out. So I'm going to zoom out as gently as I can, and hopefully you can see some of the effect of that. Now do excuse the backgrounds and all that sort of stuff, but this area is a work in progress. So yeah, I'm going to now shift. You can see the rest of the layout in the background there, are the beginnings of it. So the part that I want you to understand is, the reason I was extending this is because it's going to be a goods yard where you can load and unload as things come and go, and the train will pass right through it if it goes the right way to the other side, and then loop back up the track in the distance, and that's the plan. So right now that's the beginnings of an industrial zone. So from this area off to your right hand side over this way, it goes away down for another 6 feet, and it's going to be an industrial zone. However, I'm going to need lots and lots of inspiration and ideas for that, which I rely heavily on you guys. So hopefully you can come up with something that's going to work as much as I'll try. Any suggestions are always appreciated, as always. And now I'm going to cut to some scenes down at eye level, which always look a little bit better, and it'll explain exactly what I've done. So thank you for coming this far. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. It's a little bit different from my normal. But the point is that when you do these things in model railways, there's a lot of work goes on in the background that you never see, and you wonder, well, how do I do that? How do I change this? So yeah, please do feel free to subscribe, and to my subscribers, thank you very much for coming back. Much appreciated. See ya.